Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast. We just got our hands on chapter 1160, and listen, this isn't just a chapter, this is history.
The title is God Valley.
And it delivers. Forget everything you thought you knew. Forget the sanitized version of the story the world government tells. We are here right now for the moment three legends collided on one island. We're talking Rocks, we're talking Roger, and we're talking Monkey D. Garp.
It's the convergence point for so many threads of the story, from the Revolutionary Army's origins to the bond between emperors. It all seems to trace back to this single fateful day.
And every single page just adds another layer to the myth. This is the kind of chapter that makes you reevaluate everything. I'm talking about going back to Logtown, to Skypiea, to Enies Lobby, and seeing moments in a whole new light. If you're trying to piece together the true timeline with us, you need to be subscribed, because Oda is dropping puzzle pieces faster than we can pick them up. You do not want to miss one.
Let's start at the beginning, before the hunt.
Right, let's set the stage. We open on a crowd, and it's not a happy one. It's a mob. And in the center of it all, these people called the Davy clan. The celestial dragons are presenting them like hunting trophies before the hunt even starts.
The crowd is just screaming at them, hating them. The announcer is calling them the most despised people in the world.
It's a horrifying spectacle. They are called the most despised people in the world, which immediately raises questions. Despised by whom? By the world government, certainly. And the announcer explicitly links them to the Buccaneers. This isn't just a random group of slaves. This is a targeted lineage, a continuation of the genocide we know Kuma suffered through.
Exactly. It feels like the government is trying to lump all their enemies together, like Buccaneers, Davy clan. They're all the same brand of trouble. Hate them all. It's propaganda in real time. And the celestial dragons are literally throwing weapons at them before the hunt even starts. Not good weapons either. It's like rusty spears and broken shields. It's disgusting.
Saturn is there, looking exactly as he does now, which is a whole other can of worms we need to open.
Indeed. Seeing him there proves the Gurusei are not just figureheads. They are active participants in these atrocities. And he congratulates Garling for finding the Davy clan on God Valley in the first place, which is apparently why he recommended the island for the games. It wasn't a random location. It was chosen because it was their home.
That makes it so much worse. They didn't just find an island to play on. They found these people's home and turned it into their graveyard. It's a targeted extermination.
But Garling just brushes it off and calls it fate. That's a chilling line coming from him, as if their genocide was preordained by a divine will that he is merely an instrument of. It's the ultimate expression of the celestial dragon's ideology.
He's a monster, a complete monster. But the name, Robin, we have to talk about the Davy clan. That can't be a coincidence.
No, not in a story that has the Davy back fight. It suggests a deeper history. Perhaps the Davy back fight was a tradition of theirs that's been twisted and perverted over time, just like the history of the world itself. A ritual of community and exchange turned into a greedy pirate game.
Or maybe it's tied to the whole Davy Jones locker legend, the idea of a sea devil who claims the souls of pirates who die at sea. Maybe the Davy clan were the originators of that myth. Maybe they were a seafaring people with a unique relationship to the ocean, and the government has spent centuries painting them as demons.
It's very possible. The world government excels at historical revisionism. They could have taken a cultural tradition and turned it into a boogeyman story to justify their eradication. This chapter recontextualizes the Long Ring, Long Land arc entirely. What we saw as a silly, frivolous game could be the desecrated remnant of a lost culture.
Super depressing, but it sounds exactly like something Oda would do. He'd hide a piece of world-shattering lore inside one of the goofiest arcs in the series.
We then cut to somewhere else on the island, a quieter moment amidst the cruelty.
We see a young Monkey D. dragon in his Mariner uniform, and he's with a woman. And not just any woman. It seems pretty clear this is Shanks and Shamrock's mother. She's gravely ill, coughing, clearly dying, and she makes Dragon promise something, a final wish. She tells him to make sure her kids are raised as kind-hearted people, to not let Garling corrupt them.
The implication is staggering. This woman, a celestial dragon by marriage, is so terrified of her own husband and the society she represents that she would rather entrust her children to a complete stranger, a low-ranking marine. She knows who her husband is. She knows what he's capable of.
And you can see the conflict in Dragon's face. He's a mariner. His job is to uphold the law, and the law says the celestial dragons are absolute. But this woman, she isn't acting like a god. She's just a mother, desperate to save her children from the monster she married.
She's entrusting the future of her children to a marine she barely knows, and yet she must have seen something in him. The D in his name, perhaps? Or just a glimmer of the justice he truly believed in?
And Dragon Man, he swears he will find them. He swears he will save them, and you can see it in his eyes. That's not just a promise, that's an oath. That's a foundational moment for him. You can feel the tectonic plates of his entire worldview starting to shift.
It has to be. He's a Marine, he believes in justice, but he's just been handed a mission that directly conflicts with the will of the celestial dragons and the Knights of God. A mission from a dying mother. It frames his entire life in a new context. This isn't just about abstract ideals for him anymore. It's personal.
This is where it starts, the very first crack in his loyalty to the system. He's seeing the failure of justice firsthand, right at the top of the food chain. He's seeing the people he's sworn to protect are the very source of the world's suffering.
And then the horn sounds. The hunt begins.
And it is brutal. Oda doesn't pull any punches. They just start running, all these innocent people, the Davy clan, other slaves, just hoping to survive for 3 weeks on an island where they are the prey, and the world nobles are just hunting them, for sport, laughing.
The scene is chaotic and cruel. It's clear no one is spared, not even children. We see the entire event is being broadcast back to Mary Jawas via video transponder snails, where the other nobles are cheering, placing bets, and celebrating the slaughter like it's a festival.
It's sick. It's the worst we've ever seen them. We've seen Charlos try to buy a mermaid, but this is a whole other level of systemic evil. And we even hear about this woman, Gunko, the blade of God, who's just cutting people down with this serene smile on her face. And that other noble, Somers, he chases a little boy up a tree and then leaves his thorns at the bottom, so when the boy falls, he's impaled. It's just pure evil.
And the boy's father tries to save him, climbing the tree even though he knows the thorns are there. And they both die on the thorns together. And Somers is just enjoying it, toasting with a glass of wine. It's the absolute peak of their depravity, a complete lack of empathy.
It's designed to make you hate them with every fiber of your being, and it works. And through all this, we're cutting back to Dragon. He's watching this. His platoon is holding the perimeter, and he's seeing the bodies, the cruelty, and it's making him physically sick. But he knows he can't do anything. He has his whole platoon with him. If he steps out of line, they all die. He's paralyzed.
It's the ultimate test of his principles. What do you do when the institution you serve is the source of the evil you're supposed to fight? Do you follow orders and protect the monsters? Or do you follow your conscience and condemn yourself and everyone under your command?
He's completely trapped. It's an impossible choice. But then he sees it. A specific moment that cuts through the noise. He sees a world noble aiming a rifle at Kuma. A young, terrified Kuma is just standing there, listening to Ivankov give this big, defiant speech about hope and survival. Kuma is completely defenseless.
And Ivankov's words about living to see a new dawn combined with Kuma's unwavering, innocent hope, it's the catalyst. It's the final push Dragon needs.
He can't take it anymore. He can't stand by. He pulls out a tranquilizer gun, not a real one, which says so much about him, and shoots the noble. He takes him down. He makes the choice. Right there, he chose a slave's life over the word of God.
It's such a small act of defiance in the grand scheme of the massacre happening all around him, but for him, it's everything. He breaks his own rules, violates his orders, and risks everything to save one person. It's the first step on the path to becoming the world's worst criminal. He chose a human life over a god's whim.
And he's terrified. You can see it on his face. The, oh crap, what did I just do look. He knows the consequences resources. He knows he just signed his own death warrant, but before he can even process it, before any of the other Marines can react, the entire island shakes. A massive tremor.
The Rocks pirates have arrived.
Yes! The legends themselves. We get this huge shot of the ship, the crew disembarking, and they look like absolute monsters. Rocks D. Shebeck is front and center, and he tells them no infighting until we get the treasure and rescue Shacky. He's literally trying to keep these titans on a leash, and you can tell it's not an easy job.
The crew's dynamic is incredible. It's exactly the den of vipers we always imagined. It's not a found family like Roger's or Luffy's crew. It's a temporary alliance of ambitious, powerful, selfish individuals.
It's perfect. We get this little exchange. Barble, who I think might be a new character, points out they can't split Shacky, and Shiki immediately chimes in saying she'll fall for whoever rescues her first. Such a Shiki thing to say. Always the romantic opportunist.
Then Captain John, ever the materialist, says no, she'll fall for whoever gets the most treasure. He's all about the greed, which perfectly tracks with the quest for his treasure that Buggy was on with Bogue.
And Big Mom, young, powerful, and already completely done with everyone's nonsense, just shuts them all down. She says no matter what they do, Shacky won't even pay attention to them. Which is hilarious and also probably true. It shows she and Shacky had a history, a relationship where Limlin knew her personality well.
Then you have Newgate, Whitebeard. He says he just wants to rescue her as a friend, but he wouldn't be opposed if she fell for him. It's such a classic Whitebeard line. Honorable on the surface, but with a bit of that roguish pirate charm underneath. And you can see young Miss Buchan, the future mother of Weevil, getting annoyed next to him.
Oda, you absolute genius. The little character details are just perfect. It breathes so much life into these legendary figures. Whitebeard was always a good dude, even on this monster crew. He's there for a person, not just the loot. And seeing Buchan there, which really seems to place her on the Rocks crew, just fills in so many gaps.
Gloriosa, the former empress of Amazon Lily, is there too. She's wondering aloud if Roger would be grateful if she rescued Shacky. This is a fascinating line. It places her squarely in the middle of this entire conflict and suggests she had a relationship with both Roger and Shacky.
Her presence here explains so much about her cynicism and her knowledge of the outside world. And then there's Streusen, Big Mom's chef. He mentions that Ochoke, or Wang Ji, stayed behind on Hachinos. He's wondering if Shacky will ban him from her bar for life for not showing up. It's a great little detail that fleshes out the crew's home base and their social dynamics. They all hang out at Shacky's bar.
So it seems that Hachinos, or Bayheave Island, was their base of operations, long before it became Blackbeard's. The island itself has a legacy, a recurring role as the home of the world's most dangerous pirate crews.
And then there's Kaido, a young, skinny, apprentice-looking Kaido. He doesn't care about the banter, the treasure, or Shacky. He just turns to Linlin and asks her, "Are you gonna get me a good devil fruit or what?" That's it. That's all he's there for. Classic Kaido. All business, all power.
It really reframes their entire relationship. That life debt he owes her, the one they argued about on top of Onigashima, it probably starts right here. She gets him his fruit on God Valley. This is the origin story of the world's strongest creature.
So, the Rocks pirates just start rampaging. It's pure chaos. The world nobles who were just casually hunting people are now screaming and running for their lives. The hunters have become the hunted, and Garling is furious that his game got ended early. He doesn't care about the danger, he's just mad his fun is ruined. The sheer arrogance is off the charts.
But the chaos is Dragon's opportunity. The arrival of the Rocks pirates creates the perfect diversion. In the middle of all the madness, while the Marines are scrambling to fight a force they can't possibly handle, he finds them. He finds the twins.
He finds Shanks and Shamrock. They're just infants, wrapped in blankets, hidden away somewhere safe. And he just scoops them up and starts running. He kept his promise. Bro, the weight of that moment is immense. It's insane to think about.
It is. The future revolutionary leader, son of the Marine hero, saving a future emperor of the sea from his own father, the supreme commander of the Knights of God. The entire story is woven into that single act of desperate heroism.
And just when you think it can't get any bigger, just when the chaos meter is at a 10, a new announcement comes through the transponder snails. The Roger pirates have made land land on the opposite side of the island.
Of course they have. Roger wouldn't miss a party like this. If there's treasure, a good fight, and a chance to stick it to the world government, he's there.
And he is so perfectly Roger. It's the best entrance. He jumps off the ship, laughing, and screams that he's here to rescue Shacky and nobody else gets a shot, so the rest of his crew should just go grab the treasure. And his entire crew, not listening to a single word he says, just tramples him into the sand as they run past to join the fight.
The parallel to Luffy is undeniable. It's almost a one-for-one recreation of moments we've seen with the Straw Hats. The captain with the grand, singular declaration who is immediately ignored by his chaotic, loyal but independent crew who all have their own ideas.
It's so good. It shows that the spirit of that crew, the freedom and the chaos, is the exact same spirit that lives in the Straw Hats. It's not just about the hat, it's about the soul of the crew. It's beautiful, man.
So now the situation is completely out of control. You have the Rocks pirates rampaging for treasure and power. You have the Roger pirates joining the fray for adventure and to help a friend. And who knows how many other smaller crews heard the news and showed up hoping to pick up scraps. The Marines are completely and utterly overwhelmed.
So Garling makes the call. He's furious, but he's not stupid. He mobilizes all the Knights of God. He tells them their priority is to protect the world nobles at all costs. This is it. The full power of the government's secret enforcers is about to be unleashed on this pirate free-for-all.
But they're not the only power player left to arrive. There is one more piece to this puzzle.
No, they are not, because just as the pirates are about to completely overrun the Marine lines, a cannonball flies out of nowhere and blasts a pirate ship to absolute pieces. And there he is, standing on the deck of his warship, fists smoking, jacket blowing in the wind.
Monkey D. Garp.
Garp has arrived. The Marines are cheering his name. They're shouting, "The hero has come." He's there to save his troops. And in that final epic moment, you see it. Roger, covered in footprints, turns his head. Rocks, standing over a defeated noble, turns his head. They both lock eyes on Garp.
The triangle is complete.
Super. This is it. This is the God Valley incident. It's not just a battle. It's the collision of three eras, three ideologies. The old guard of absolute power in Rocks, the new challenger of absolute freedom in Roger, and the force of messy human justice standing between them in Garp. This is the moment that will define the rest of the century.
We're finally here. After all these years of hearing whispers and legends, we are witnessing the event itself.
I need a minute. I think I need to go back and read the whole thing again. That was just dense. It's overwhelming. Every single moment mattered. Every line of dialogue recontextualizes something we thought we knew.
It's a chapter that will fuel discussions for months, maybe years. The implications for Dragon, Shanks, Kaido, the Marines, they are staggering.
All right, we gotta try and predict what happens next, but man, how do you even predict from here? Anything could happen. Before we get into it, drop a comment below and let us know what you think the very next move is. Who strikes first? Garp, Roger, or Rocks? I want to see your theories.
Okay, I'll start. My first prediction is about the Davy clan. The name is too specific. I believe we're going to learn that the Davy back fight isn't just a pirate game. It's a ritual that originated with them. Perhaps a way they settled disputes or chose leaders. Now twisted into a mockery by pirates like Foxy. They might even be rivals of the ancient kingdom from the Void Century, a third faction whose history has been completely erased, remembered only through this bastardized game.
Ooh, I like that. Tying Foxy's whole ridiculous arc into the deepest lore of the world would be such an Oda move. It's his specialty. My first one is about the fight itself. I don't think it's going to be a simple three-way free-for-all. I predict Garp and Roger will be forced into a temporary alliance. We know it happens, but I think we'll see the exact moment. Rocks will do something so heinous, maybe threaten to kill all the slaves at once, that Garp and Roger will exchange a look and realize they have a common enemy that's bigger than their own rivalry. They'll have to team up to stop Rocks, not just for their own survival, but specifically to protect the innocent people caught in the crossfire. That's how their legendary rivalry/friendship gets forged, in the fires of God Valley, defending the defenseless.
That makes sense. A common enemy to unite two opposing forces. For my second prediction, I think we are not going to see the conclusion of this fight next chapter. I think Oda will cut away.
The flashback will end right as the first blows are exchanged. Garp punching rocks, Roger clashing with Whitebeard, something iconic, and we'll jump back to the present day, either on Egghead or maybe Elbaf. Saturn will say something that connects directly back to what we just saw, like the D-Clan always brings a storm, leaving us to wonder about the full outcome of God Valley for a while longer.
You're probably right, and I hate it, but it feels like his style. He loves to give us a taste of the legend and then make us wait. Okay, my second prediction, we are going to see a young Prime Rayleigh in action. Roger just got comically run over by his own crew, so someone has to step up. I think Rayleigh is going to step up, rally the crew, and coordinate the attack while Roger is dusting himself off and laughing about it. We'll get a real glimpse of why he was called the Dark King, showing off his strategic mind and leadership in a way we've only heard about. He'll be the one to direct the Roger pirates effectively against the powerhouse Rock's crew.
I'd love to see that. A demonstration of his tactical mind, not just his swordsmanship. My final prediction concerns Shocky. The narrative is that she needs to be rescued, but we know she was part of the Rocks pirates 2 years prior to this incident. I don't think she's a simple damsel in distress. I predict she's engineering her own escape and is using the chaos caused by Roger and Rocks as cover. She might even be the one who tipped Roger off that there was valuable treasure and a poneglyph on the island. She's not being rescued, she's defecting, and she's smart enough to make 2 of the world's strongest crews her getaway drivers.
That's a super good one. It gives her way more agency. She was never just a bartender. She was a major player. Okay, my last prediction is about Kaido. He's here for a devil fruit and Big Mom is the one he asked. I think we will see Lin acquire the fish fruit model Azure Dragon from a chest of treasures stolen from the Celestial Dragons. They probably had it as a prize for the hunting game. She'll get her hands on it and toss it to Kaido. This is the origin story for his power, and it came directly from the horde of the gods he grew to despise. The ultimate irony.